Details in the tragic stabbing death of a Houston nursing student. Police say the 23-year-old British woman was killed by her roommate last weekend.
Well, here's a prime example again of a case that could have been prevented if they had allowed this criminal to stay in jail. A 23-year-old nursing student from Britain came over to get her education. She was on the verge of graduating, and there's this site that sets up off-campus living facility. They match up roommates. Now they say that they don't try to match anybody up specifically. They randomly pick out, I guess the computer generated, but they say they do a background check. Well, that's a lie. I know for a fact they didn't do a background check, because if they had did a background check, this young lady would be still alive.
Orko Manna joins us from the Harris County Jail tonight with the latest from investigators. Orko?
It's been 1 week since this deadly stabbing, and while Houston police are still investigating, homicide detectives tell me that this all stemmed from an argument between the suspect and the victim about their cats. I'm also told the British nursing student would have graduated this weekend. It's a quiet Saturday at this apartment on Goforth Street on Houston's South Side. But just a week earlier, on the afternoon of April 26th, Houston police say it was a bloody murder scene. HPD finding a 23-year-old woman in one of the units lying on the kitchen floor with multiple stab wounds. Homicide detectives identifying her as Elizabeth Tamalor Adunzi. Police say she was from England but was in nursing school here in Houston, set to graduate this weekend. Detectives telling me Adunzi's roommate, 40-year-old Chester Grant, stabbed her to death after the two got into an argument a few days earlier about the cats that they both kept in the unit. The conflict reportedly snowballed and led to the violent encounter. I'm told the two were relatively new roommates for about 2 months. Detectives say Grant tried to take his own life, stabbing himself around 6 times, including in the side of the neck. After a few days in the hospital, Grant appeared in probable cause court Saturday morning, now charged with murder.
The story is that they had been arguing over a cat. He has a cat, a 40-year-old man living by himself with a cat, which is suspicious. Somebody needs to explain to me how this 40-year-old allegedly was going to college. The young lady and him were roomed together. If he had any scruples, I'll say I don't feel comfortable with this arrangement. Even if he hadn't done anything, you can be accused of something. But he stabbed her, they say 28 times. Then at first the story says that she stabbed him. They changed it around and says that he stabbed himself 1 time. Now we figure out that he may have stabbed himself up to 6 times. They pretended like he wanted to commit suicide. I don't believe it. I think he was trying to use that to say he was defending himself. These were self-inflicted wounds. He had been arrested and charged in Washington State at least anywhere from 4 to 8 times. Some of them may have been failure to obey a restraining order, but he was at least charged with 3 or 4 occasions beating the hell out of either his girlfriend or somebody he knew, and also he beat the hell out of a healthcare worker. My question is, how in the hell did he get to Texas? How is this criminal who has and he has a long rap sheet. Some about he had some other case talking about some type of explosive, reckless driving, all kind of charges he's had against himself. If we keep these criminals locked up, young ladies like this would still be alive.
Detectives telling me Adunzi's roommate, 40-year-old Chester Grant, stabbed her to death after the two got into an argument a few days earlier about the cats that they both kept in the unit. The conflict reportedly snowballed and led to the violent encounter. I'm told the two were relatively new roommates for about 2 months.
Maybe we should start charging the DAs and the prosecutors and the judges for releasing these animals. He was on an off campus and they roomed him up with a 23-year-old college student. I don't know if they're really arguing over the cat now. The report said they were arguing over the cat. He could have been trying something on her. I don't know, but who stabbed somebody 28 times? Just say if he was trying to defend himself. He stabbed her. It was some he didn't want her to jail. He may have sexually assaulted her or had an advance towards her. She said, I'm going to call the cops. And then he decided to kill her. They were doing a welfare check on her. They found blood on the back patio, and he was in the room laying down. Her body was still on the kitchen floor. Death penalty, if you ask me. We got to stop letting these criminals out of jail, and we can save lives if we just keep the criminals locked up. If you beat the hell out of your girlfriend, if you beat the hell out of women, you fighting on women, why should you be fit for society? Unless you, the MS-13 gang member that the Democrats seem to want to bring back over after he didn't beat the hell out of his wife. This is a preventable story. Now the family has to bury this young lady who was a productive citizen. So the non-productive people are destroying the productive people. If we leave them locked up, this won't happen again.